Hey guys, this is Austin. This is the 12-inch MacBook. Now when it came out back in 2015, it wasn't exactly received very well, which begs the question, why does this still exist in 2018? Or 2019, I guess. The biggest issue with this machine has always been the single port. The USB-C is great, but the issue, just like I said in my original 2015 video, is that a single port means that you are stuck forever as a resident of Dongle Town. Yes, my friends, Dongle Town. It's right down the road from Garbage Town and just a little ways away from Notch City. Now these days, USB-C has become a lot more popular, so a lot of accessories do support it natively, but the problem still here is if you want to do, I don't know, something like plugging in something as well as using a charger at the same time, you just can't do that without a dongle. And that's simply not an issue that you have to deal with on other Macs or, well, any other laptop you buy. Like literally any other laptop. Complicating all of this is the current Mac lineup. So we have the 12-inch MacBook, the 13-inch MacBook Air, as well as the 13-inch MacBook Pro without Touch Bar. All of these systems are almost the exact same price, they share a lot of similarities, and it just doesn't really make a lot of sense right now. My friend Quinn from Snazzy Labs did an excellent comparison between all three, which you guys should definitely go check out. But the gist of it is that there's a lot in common with these three laptops, which kind of means that the 12-inch is the odd one out. Now that doesn't mean that there are no advantages to using the 12-inch MacBook. First of all, this is one of the thinnest and lightest laptops that you can buy today. Full stop. There is something to that. We have full-fledged Mac OS running here on a laptop which is really about the same size as an iPad. It also has the fundamentals down. Not only do you have a very sharp and accurate screen, but you also have one of the best touchpads in the game. Hey guys, this is the craziest weapon of all time. The speakers are there, the battery life is pretty solid. I mean, a lot of the main things that you look for in a laptop are here and accounted for with the 12-inch MacBook. That is, until you look just a little bit closer. The keyboard, for example, is the older style butterfly switches, and while they're fine, the new ones in the MacBook Air not only feel a lot better, but they're also more durable. The webcam is also famously potato quality. With a whopping 480p resolution, I'm not really sure why this still exists in 2018, or 2019. Or 2015. Then there's the performance. Now this is a fanless laptop, which is a big reason why it is so tiny, but because of that you give up a fair bit of actual speed. So with especially that Core M3 model, it's fine for a lot of basic use. So if you want to do web browsing and maybe a little bit of very light audio and video editing, it's fine, but anything more heavy, it does start to chug a little bit on this guy. Put this all together, and unless you just have to have the smaller size, the MacBook doesn't make a ton of sense right now. That got me thinking though. I had a little chat with my buddy John about what exactly the future might hold for the 12-inch MacBook. This, my friend, is a 12-inch MacBook. Are you familiar with such a wondrous computer?
Is this what they call a Mac?
That's what they call a Mac. What do you think about the MacBook where it is today? Like as far as the 12-inch MacBook, it's been updated a time or two over the last few years, but for the most part, this is pretty similar to what came out in 2016 or 2015?
Right.
2015,
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it's not been updated in a while. I think it should be 12-inch MacBook.
Yes.
13-inch MacBook Air.
Yes.
Get rid of the MacBook Pro without Touch Bar.
Yeah.
And if you want a MacBook Pro, not that the Touch Bar is what, separates a Pro.
The quad core does separate.
That's what the big deal is. That's what people miss a lot of the time, is that the 13-inch MacBook Pro without Touch Bar is dual core.
Do you remember when they announced the non-Touch Bar MacBook Pro? They're like, this is great for people who are upgrading from an Air. Like they specifically called it out as like the Air replacement.
Yeah, and I think that was that takes place of the Air. It's just, I think ultimately they realize it's the stupid name. People, for vanity or for whatever it is, they want a MacBook Air.
Yeah. What do you see as the future of not only the Mac, but specifically, what do you see as the future of the 12-inch MacBook? Because I really do feel like this doesn't make a lot of sense to buy right now. Like I feel like this is way too close to that MacBook Air and to that MacBook Pro.
Apple is playing the long game, and they're okay with making short-term sacrifice in regards for the future. It's not that the iPad Pro is this magical, life-changing device that you should go sell everything for.
Why would have to.
Why I'm excited is because it plants the seed for the future. So I think that's like seed one, which sets the path for this. I feel like everyone's so stuck in the past of like, well, x86 is a different platform, it's never gonna happen, but why do you want to stick in an archaic system?
If you look at where x86 has tracked over the last few years, we've gotten performance improvements, but they've been, 5% here, 10% there. Whereas you look on the ARM side, specifically with what Apple's been doing with their A-series processors, and it's like, oh look, 20%, 50%, 100%. Like there's these massive performance gains to the point where I would think that in most any way you measure it, a MacBook, a 12-inch MacBook is not as powerful as the 8 cores that are inside that iPad, right? You've got that GPU. I mean, there's a ton of power there.
People always say, why doesn't Apple put macOS on the iPad? One, if they did that, it had to be x86 and they would just erase everything that's in the future.
Yeah.
Two, the other thing is, why don't they put their pro apps on the iPad? Why don't they do that? Give me Final Cut, give me Logic. I guarantee you they have a Final Cut version that's ready to go on the iPad. I guarantee you they have Logic, but they don't need Apple to put their apps on. They need everybody else. And like Photoshop coming to ARM is huge. And the interesting thing is like right now they're already doing like a hint of the future where like their T2 chip or whatever, like it is doing co-processing along with Intel.
Very good point. I guess my thought here is that with the 12-inch MacBook, this seems like the prime candidate for it to be like the very first Mac that will be powered by an Apple A12 or A13 or A17, whatever the case is, but an Apple processor.
Again, Apple is playing the long game. Short-term sacrifice, long-term gain.
If you guys want to know more from John, he has an entire series about why the iPad is the greatest invention known to mankind, used by professionals of all sizes and shapes, and you can go check that out. I'm gonna go back to talk about Macs though.
Can I shoot one of your videos and edit it on the iPad Pro?
Yes, you can actually. That would be a great idea.
Let's do it.